Welcome back to the Ken Knapp'd Podcast. I'm here with Rodrigo Báez from the Mexican Consulate. We chose the Black Explorer for you to drive today.
Looks gorgeous.
It seemed fancy. I had Jerome help me pick it up for you, so we're going to go for a drive. Okay, perfect. Let's go. What's your official title at the consulate?
I'm the Consul of Mexico in Leamington.
Can you tell us a bit about your personal journey and how it led to you serving in Leamington?
Yeah, well, so I'm a member of the Foreign Service of Mexico. So I've been posted in different consulates and embassies of Mexico around the world. And so now I'm happy to be here for the last 3 years to be the head of this consulate in Leamington.
Yeah, what are some of your favorite things about Leamington?
Well, it's a pretty little town. It's very authentic, I think, and unique. Of course, the consulate is there because of the strong presence of the Mexican workers, mostly in the agriculture and greenhouse industry. So it feels very Mexican. It has a lot of Mexican restaurants, but it's multicultural. I'm like 10 minutes away from Leamington now, really? So I'm there all the time. And there's so many restaurants. I have like a list of places that I need to go to. Do you have a favorite restaurant there? Yeah, there's like 15. We are actually about to start a sort of recognition for the authentic Mexican gastronomy among the restaurants. And to put like a little stamp there of who is offering like authentic Mexican food. Yeah,
that's awesome. I know that Mexican gastronomy was recognized by UNESCO. What does that recognition mean for Mexico's culture?
Yeah, that was amazing. It was in 2015, it just recognizes that the Mexican gastronomy is so unique and rooted in ancestral techniques and with very unique ingredients that it is recognizable wherever you go, and it just talks a lot about what is the importance for Mexicans to prepare food, to gather at a table and share our food. It's just very strong in our culture.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Mexican dish?
I love it's called chile relleno. It's like stuffed chile.
Oh, okay.
But it is very authentic and traditional because the chile itself is green.
Okay.
And then it is covered on a white sauce made out of milk and nuts, walnuts. And then it has the little pomegranate seeds that are red, right?
Oh, that sounds
interesting. So it's red, white, and green, red, and white, the colors of our green, our flag.
I've never had that before. I have to try it.
Yeah, it was sort of invented or prepared for one of our first emperors. Yeah. And so that's why it's so unique.
That's awesome. Can you walk us through some of the main services that the consulate provides to the community?
Yeah. So the consulate, like I said, it's there to be close to the Mexican workers, to make sure that their rights are respected, that if they have any question regarding their access to health or their payments, or if they have an accident, to which authorities they can reach out. So the consulate is there to orientate on this, but also just promoting trade between Canada, or this part of Ontario, and Mexico. Of course, we cover also this area of Essex County, including Windsor, and Windsor, as you know, has a very strong influence of the Detroit's automotive industry. So there are a lot of companies from Windsor that have a plant or a branch in Mexico. So promoting that trade and the suppliers, chains, and so on, that's also a part of our job.
I know you do have like a lot of economic ties. Can you talk more about how you support the trade, particularly in the automotive industry?
Yeah, so it is trying to find those companies that have interest in Mexico, either to trade or to invest, like to open a plant over there. Mexico's economy is strong and is growing, and we are developing infrastructure to cross or to open a path between the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific coast. So it will be an exporting hub to add value to many products. So just in promoting these opportunities, we expect to bring more trade between Mexico and Canada and investment.
You also support women entrepreneurs a lot. Can you walk us through like the services and programs that you have?
Yeah, of course. So for the government of Mexico, women are a priority because women are, as you know, strong-willed persons, and they're, when they fix something in their mind, they succeed. They are well organized. They keep their finances, healthy, and so we have a program to support and help them to set up a business if that's one of their ideas, entrepreneurial ideas. There's a course online, and then we partner with local organizations like Invest Windsor-Essex. They have a small and medium entrepreneurship program. And so they train there to develop a business plan and to know the rules on how to set up a business in Windsor-Essex County, how to get finance services and so on. Yeah. So it's very gratifying to see these women take the course and
start their journey.
Yeah.
That's great that you provide that. The consulate also emphasizes that all are welcome. How do you ensure that it's a safe and inclusive space for everyone?
Yeah, that's also very important. You were there at the consulate a couple of weeks ago, and you saw the signs there of a triangle and a rainbow. That means that everybody is safe at the consulate, meaning that all minorities are welcome, the LGBT community, and the consulates are safe places against all kinds of discrimination. So we promote the rights of those minorities, and we also have now special services for them, such as we recognize the marriage of same-sex couples. You can get a passport with a non-binary designation on it. You can obtain a birth certificate based on your own perception gender. So those developments, have just show that the fight of these populations are recognized by the government, and we're happy to provide these services at the consulate.
Yeah, that's great. It's very important.
In an inclusive way.
Yeah.
This year, the famous World Soccer Cup, it's gonna be in 3 countries: in Mexico, the US, and Canada, for the first time in 3 countries. And it's the 3rd time that the cup is in Mexico. That's a record. Any other country has hosted the cup for three times. And so we're very excited about it. It's going to happen this summer, starting in June 11. The first game is going to be in Mexico, then there are going to be games in the US and some games in Canada as well, in Toronto, in Vancouver. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to go to Mexico, to visit Mexico, to have a great time, and if you're a fan of soccer.
Are you going to go to any of the games?
No, I don't. But we're going to host some events here in Canada to watch the games, the Mexican games.
Oh, that's exciting.
In Leamington, we're going to have the inaugural game seen at a restaurant in Leamington. And I mean, we hope to be at the finals and have another party. Yeah.
Hopefully. What do you think keeps Canadians going back to Mexico? We've had so many people at the dealerships taking vacations, going to Mexico. Yeah. It's a great place. Yeah,
I mean, it's just that it's so diverse. I mean, of course, the beaches are very popular.
Yeah.
Either Cancun or Puerto Vallarta, Acapulco, and so on. But also, like, if you go to Mexico City, it's such a big, vibrant city.
Yeah.
It never sleeps, or it's so alive. And there we have a lot of many colonial towns. We have a special designation to many of them that we call them magical towns. And that means that they are very unique in their culture, in their food features and so on. So yeah, they're just lovely to explore, to walk on pebble streets, and yeah, they're very unique places.
Magical town. I've never heard of that. I really like that.
Yeah, you should visit some of them. And so Canadians go every year to Mexico. A lot of them have their retirement houses over there.
Yeah.
And so also the consulate, if you wanna work in Mexico, if you want to retire, I mean, if you want to go for more than 6 months to Mexico, and you just apply for a visa that is very easy to obtain, and then you can just live in Mexico.
Bye.
That sounds cool, right?
Yeah. The weather is probably a lot better than it is
different
right now. How do you feel about the winters here?
Well, this is my third winter, so I'm getting used to it. And I've been abroad outside of Mexico for many years. But it's always nice to visit, especially during these cold winter months. To go to Mexico and get rid of escape a little bit from this. And Mexico City and many other cities in Mexico have an average of 25 degrees all year long. Of course, there are some places, like I told you, so diverse Mexico that there are some mountain areas in Mexico that are a little bit cold, but just the average temperature is just very enjoyable.
Yeah, better than here, but we also can't complain too much. Like, there's places in Canada that get much, much colder than what we get.
Yeah, true.
It already feels like spring, so I think we made it this year.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Are there any other upcoming cultural events or initiatives in Leamington that we should know about?
The Mexican Consulate also organizes or promotes cultural events, promoting Mexican culture, our traditions, both to make Mexicans living in this area, closer to Mexico, but also to get the Canadians more interested in Mexican culture. So we celebrate, for example, the Day of the Dead in November, the first 2 days of November, and that's very traditional. You've seen the skulls and all this. It has a very unique concept behind it, as ancestral from before we were conquered by Spain. But just in general, like there are events throughout the year. As you know, the Carousel of Nations that happens every year. There's a Mexican village in Leamington that the consulate helps to organize, and it's just a display of music, dance, and Mexican food that it's very enjoyable. It's gonna be on Sunday, June 21st, around noon, and it's a very nice event to get closer to Mexico without taking a plane.
And the weather will be hopefully nice and warm by then.
It'll be in the middle of the summer. Yes.
What's been the most rewarding part of your work in Leamington so far?
Well, it is sad that sometimes a Mexican community it's vulnerable to many situations. Like I mentioned, the workers in some cases are victims of abuse, or if they happen to be left out of a work permit or a valid immigration status, then they become very vulnerable to these abuses. So we have intervened. We have intervened in many cases to defend their rights. There's also some victims of domestic violence, and with the assistance of the consulate and the local partners, we have sort of make a network of support to them. We have been able to change the course of some lives in a very positive way. So that's very rewarding.
Yeah, it's great that you're able to help them. Looking ahead, what excites you most about the relationship between Mexico and Canada?
Well, we are in the midst of the negotiations of the CUSMA agreement, as it is known in Canada. We call it TMEC or TEMEC in Mexico. But as you know, it's going to go through a review this summer. And so that's exciting because, we need to provide certainty to investors and businesses. And I think it's going to be a good agreement. The three countries are so intertwined, and its relationship is so integrated in many industries that we have to maintain that strength. And if we get a good new agreement, then we'll be more competitive. This will be a very competitive region against whatever is happening outside. That it's going in a turmoil right now. So if we show this strength, it'll be just good for Canadians, Mexicans, and Americans.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming to this.
Oh yeah, it was my pleasure.
I appreciate it very much. You did a great job driving this.
Yeah. You didn't feel unsafe at it.
I did not.
Okay, good. Great, awesome. Thanks so much. I really enjoyed it.
We appreciate it.